But I had the good fortune of being a teenage boy during the release and popular rise of the Fast and the Furious movies. And specifically, the first and second movies were really popular. And so, out of this collective teenage zeitgeist came video games like Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2, and the rise of highly modified cars and car meets. And so, even before the early 2000s tuner culture, I had been fascinated with cars. My grandfather worked on and raced cars, and throughout most of my childhood, he routinely drove me around at high speeds on back roads, slamming gears, burning rubber. He purchased for us grandkids a go kart early on, so I was used to driving at a very young age. I remember being as young as maybe 10 and taking his Nissan Pulsar 5 speed to the mailbox a mile away and back. And so I was comfortable behind the wheel at a young age. My grandpa had loved NASCAR and he had encouraged me to take time to appreciate all things motorsports. So, really, by the time I was 16, I don't think I cared about anything more than cars, except for maybe girls. My first car was a brown Subaru Legacy, but to me, it might as well have been a Ferrari. My good friend Tony and I would work on that car for hours, making modifications to the engine and lighting to try to compete with other guys at the local car meets. We would drive to nearby parking lots to meet with, 30 or 40 other cars to all pop hoods and talk shop. It's where I would smoke cigarettes for the first time and where I would watch my first fist fight. We would set up races and use a little police scanner to listen for incoming cops. And it really felt like life in the movies. It was an exciting time to be a teenager. Races were held on Fridays and Saturdays with dangerous chases, high stakes bets, and criminal activity all around. I felt like an outlaw. And I liked